Zoo Wheat Mama, how's it going, everybody? We are getting very close to finishing up this October season in Marvel Snap, so we gotta look forward to November. So I'm gonna give a very quick rundown on the November season pass card, Miss Marvel, and I'll also give my thoughts on the other three cards coming out in November: Gladiator, Annihilus, and Martyr, and whether I think they're worth chasing after with spotlight caches or collector's tokens, or if I think they're a bit of a bust and you should maybe try and save your resources for some other cards you really want. So let's get into it. So first up, we have the season pass card, Miss Marvel. She is a 4-cost, 5-powered card with an ongoing ability that adjacent locations where your cards have unique costs have plus 5 power. Now this is a pretty interesting ability. Kind of works like Claw or Mr. Fantastic, where she can add power to other lanes, and it's an ongoing ability. But you now have to meet certain conditions at those locations in order to get the power. So the cards at those locations need to have unique costs. So for example, if you played Miss Marvel in the middle, and you had, say, Angela and Jeff on the left side, Angela and Jeff are both 2-cost cards, Miss Marvel would not add plus 5 power to the left, but she would add it to the right. Okay, so you could even, move Jeff to the right, and then she would add plus 5 to both. But, there's a lot of decks that she can just be put right in. I mean, it's not hard to have mixed costs at different locations. If you're just playing one card a turn and you play on curve, you're going to meet that requirement. And if you do meet that requirement for 2 lanes, she's 4-cost, 15 power. That's the power of Doctor Doom. If you meet the requirements in just one other lane, or maybe you had to play her on the left or right, you couldn't get her in the middle, then she's 10 power. That's the same power that Claw adds to the board, and Claw is a 5-cost card. He's 4 power himself, and he adds 6 to the right location. Miss Marvel has 10 power if you only get one location bonus, and it can go either way. She can add power to the left, to the right, or both. So very flexible in terms of an ongoing card that does this. A big step up from Mr. Fantastic. She costs 1 more, but she has 3 more power herself, and she adds 3 more power to each of the lanes. So I really think she's going to be pretty good. You could even double her with Onslaught. I think she is a very strong season pass card, and herself, I mean, she just has good stats, and she's putting out so much power. So it is ongoing. It is weak to Enchantress and Rogue, but I do think she's very strong. I think she's the best card that's coming out in November, the strongest card. And if you do normally get season passes, I would definitely try and pick her up. Now, I should also mention that I will be doing another season pass giveaway for the month of November, so make sure to follow me on Twitter and or in my Discord to keep an eye out for the news on that giveaway. The first new card being released into Spotlight Caches in November is Gladiator. He's going into Series 5, so he will be 6,000 tokens. He is a 3-cost, 7-powered card with the on-reveal ability that you add a card from your opponent's deck to their side of this location, and if it has less power than Gladiator, you're going to destroy that card. So he has the same stat line as Maximus, who makes your opponent draw 2 cards when you play, and he's the same kind of thing. Okay, he's got good stats, but his on-reveal ability is potentially very harmful, and I would argue it's more harmful than Maximus. I play America Chavez in over half of my decks. If my opponents play Gladiator against me, there's a good chance they're pulling my America Chavez. She has 9 power, that's 2 more than Gladiator, so he won't kill her. They're just going to play my 9-powered card for free. Okay, it's pulling it out of my deck, which also means I now have less cards in my deck, and I have a higher chance of drawing the card that I need. So Gladiator is interesting. Again, he's not pulling the top card of their deck, he's pulling a card. It can be from anywhere. It means he can pull from the bottom, get America Chavez. He can pull something really big. Even if he pulls something that he can kill, say Doctor Doom, I have to assume that card's on-reveal effect will happen, so Doctor Doom would spawn his Doombots, and then the original Doctor Doom would die. But I think Gladiator is just really risky. Maximus currently doesn't see much play. He used to see play in Surfer decks. He got cut. There's so many great 3-drops out there, so unless there's some deck that pops up that has Maximus and Gladiator for just a big stats Surfer deck, I think he is a bust. Okay, I think if you're not playing Maximus, you don't have a great reason to play Gladiator. Next up, we have Annihilus. He is a 5 cost, 8 powered card. Going into Series 5, he'll also be 6,000 tokens with the on reveal ability that your cards with 0 or less power switch sides and destroy those that can't. So the obvious synergy here is Clog decks. If you have rocks on your side, or you've got Sentry's Void or the Hood, or maybe goblins that didn't get sent over, he's gonna attempt to just Viper everything. Okay, he's like vipering all 3 lanes at once, and anything that can't move over is gonna get destroyed. Okay, so it's like Viper, but it's only hitting cards that have 0 or less power. And if your opponent's lanes are full, where you want to move stuff over, they just get destroyed. But he also works defensively. I mean, imagine Clog gets popular. You just put Annihilus in your deck, and if your opponent plays Clog on you, you just send everything back or wipe it all out at the very end of the game. So he's very strong. Again, he works offensively and defensively with Clog. He can send cards over, but he can also destroy stuff. So he just does multiple things. So I don't think it's clear how strong he will be. I'm actually going to give him a yellow thumbs up. I'd say it's a bit tentative. Cards that do multiple things often turn out to be stronger than we expect. Think of a card like Legion, which also came out as a 5/8. I am excited to play Annihilus because I like that style of deck. I like Clog and just cards with weird, interesting kind of abilities that you can make fun combos with. So I'm not sure he will be meta, at least not right away. In December, the card Selene is coming out, and she will reduce power of cards in both your hand and your opponent's hand. So Annihilus could be good to protect you against that if your opponent's playing that on you. And as more cards come into the game, I think he will get stronger over time. So I think he's good to start, but I think he could potentially be great at some point. And lastly, we have Martyr. She is a 1 cost, 4 powered card going straight into Series 4, so she will only be 3,000 tokens. She is the only card going into Series 4 for November. And her ability is that at the end of the game, move to a location that loses you the game if possible. So she has the opposite ability of Captain Marvel, essentially. But she's at much lower cost and pretty good cost to power ratio, but it's a 1/4. I mean, that's not that crazy. To have this kind of ability, basically you need to fill your board so she doesn't screw you over. Okay, if you fill up all your locations, she won't be able to move anywhere. And then it seems decent, like, oh, you got a 1/4. But Titania is a 1/5. I mean, if your opponent's side of the board is full, you can play Titania for free. It's safe. A demon is 1/6. Even with Titania, if you want to hit her with 0, you can. So she's a better target for 0 than Martyr is because she has more power. So I think when Martyr was initially data mined, she was maybe a 2/6 or something, and I thought that was pretty good. At a 1/4, I'm giving her a big fat thumbs down. I just don't think it does enough. You're going to have to try to negate her ability by filling the board or hitting her with 0 or something, and it's just not worth it. 4 power is not that insane. Again, just play the Hood, get a 1/6 demon, and call it a day. I think Martyr, she's Series 4, so if you're just trying to pick up Series 4 cards with tokens, she's a decent shot there, but I really don't think she's going to see much play. I'm really not hyped on her. So that's my hot take potentially on these November cards. I think besides Miss Marvel, they're pretty lackluster. I think Gladiator and Martyr are just huge misses, and I think Miss Marvel is obviously the biggest winner here, which maybe isn't great. I mean, we've seen the last couple seasons, Loki and Elsa, the season pass cards, come out incredibly strong and be the best cards coming out that month, essentially. And that's not great if you're a free-to-play player. I mean, if you're free-to-play, and I mean genuinely free-to-play, where you don't spend any money, it means you're not buying the season passes. So these cards won't come into rotation for you for like another 2 months. And that kind of sucks if all the good cards are the season pass ones and the ones that you can actually attain for free are pretty lackluster. So I could be wrong on this, but I really don't think just raw stats right now is very strong. Gladiator and Martyr, they're just like raw stats cards, okay? They have really good stats for a bad ability, and that just doesn't cut it right now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, which of these cards you're most excited for in November, and if you think I'm just completely wrong on any of my assumptions for how good or bad these cards will be. And I'll see you next time.